very, very cautious when giving out any of your personal information. Any of your information, you need to be very, very diligent about keeping it safe. Meaning, say you get a phone call, hey, this is Citrus Heights Police Department, we're doing a fundraiser. We'd like to know if you'd like to donate some money. Can we get your credit card? Don't do that. Or if you do, hang up the phone, call the police department and see if we're actually doing that. We generally don't do stuff like that. We're definitely not gonna ask any of your personal information on the phone, whether it be credit card, date of birth, social security number, any of that type of stuff. So be cautious when you're getting phone calls. That's kind of number one scam. Number two is by the mail. Unfortunately, we can't do a whole bunch about the mail stuff. But I will say though, similar to phone scams, call the police department if you're cautious or if you think something's up with this. It's not gonna hurt you, right? It was done by mail, so obviously they're not hurting for too much. Call us, let us verify it for you. We have no problem doing that. Third scam, computer, like I was just talking about. That's the big one right now. And does anybody here on Facebook? If you guys want to take a real quick gander, look on Facebook. You can put a search in there for computer scams, and you can see videos where scammers are being scammed. By good scammers, I guess, if that's a good hackers. And what they're doing is just the amount of money that they're taking from people is crazy. And the thing is that, let's say I'm on the phone with you, right? Something wrong with the computer, blah, blah, blah. Or here's one, I'm sure you guys have heard this one. Hi, I'm a prince from wherever, and I have this money for you, but you have to do X and Y and Z for me, right? The moment you allow them into your computer, say goodbye to your computer. It's gone. They're gonna have everything you have in that computer. Whether it be accounts, passcodes, everything that's in that computer is gonna be theirs. Be very cautious when you're dealing with stuff like this. If it's too good to be true, what is that old saying? It generally is, right? And here's the bad thing about this. There's not a whole bunch we can do. I can't go after a guy all the way in, name a country. I can't do that. Good thing is the FBI is starting to get on board with this type of stuff. Homeland Security is starting to get on board with this type of thing. So what we do for you, if God forbid you're a victim of this, basically we take a report and then that gets sent over, we would send you some information. You would fill out this information. That then goes to the FBI, and then depending on what's going on with the FBI at that time, or how many people have been scammed from, let's say it's computer via computer, like my computer against your computer, they would check the IP addresses and that type of thing, and then what they would do is, you're not the first one, definitely not gonna be the last one, so they start looking for that IP. And then and still, even if they know who the people are, it's extremely hard to prosecute these people because they're not in our country, generally speaking. Something that's been kind of new on the radar, and I don't know a whole bunch about it, but I know a lot of people have been taken for a lot of money, and that's Bitcoin, or cryptocurrency. There's been a lot, if you guys don't know, there's actually Bitcoin I don't know, like an ATM almost, at different stores within our community. And here's the thing about Bitcoin. Does everybody know what Bitcoin is, first off?
Tom Brady does.
Tom Brady does, yes he does. So does somebody else that he knows. So Bitcoin, right, it's a cryptocurrency. The bad thing with cryptocurrency is there's no tracking of it. So once it's gone, it's gone. And we've had actually, I won't say a whole bunch, but we've had members of our community be victims of their Bitcoin. Bitcoin's very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. And once that's gone, it's gone. So I guess the totality of everything here is you need to be very vigilant on your personal information, who's calling you, what's going on. whether it be somebody who's here, has anybody ever called the police department regarding somebody coming by saying they're PG&E and they're not PG&E? So believe it or not, there are people that walk around different communities who don't belong to certain organizations trying to victimize other people. They'll dress like them, act like them, and all that type of stuff. Call us, Pretty Police Twice in a charity. Before you do anything like via computer, giving that information out, don't do it. I can't say it enough, don't do it. Almost as much as don't leave your purse or wallet inside your car when shopping at Kohl's or any other place here in the United States. Lock your stuff up. You're just as diligent about that, like locking your car, locking your house. Your information needs to be the exact same way, okay? Does anybody have any questions on that aspect of it? I'm not trying to really kind of bring this down, but it comes really, it's simple. Go ahead, yeah, sorry.
Well, there's also a lot of programs online that will protect you from fraud as well. So you can investigate that. There's a lot of like firewalls and things like that, programs you can put on the computer that will actually block malware attacks, which is basically where someone will get a computer and it'll pop up going, hey, this is something that's suspicious, and it'll basically wipe it out or clean it out, or it'll just make you aware something's happening. So there are lots of programs like that out there as well.
I think what I'll do is I'll have one of our detectives come in and actually really get down in the weeds with you guys about that. There's malware, right? There's a thing out there, it's called Pfizer, and it's basically they're phishing is what they're doing. They're trying to see if you're gonna bite on anything. And as soon as you bite, just a little bit of it, just a little nibble, they got you.
The other one that I've seen is I work with my mom who's legally blind a lot, and she loves Facebook, but they have been spoofing, they cull through your friend list, who's usually family, and they spoof the account. They take their picture, just one, and they'll start sending you messages, hey, I'm in trouble, you know, and one got her in a panic and she called me. She said, hey, your cousin in the Philippines is in trouble. Should I send him money? And I said, no. But, you know, if you get strange, very out of the blue messages from any of your social media platforms, and it looks like a relative, just pick up the phone. You know their phone number. You know, call them first.
One that we've had probably half a dozen times now is, let's say Mary Jane gets a phone call from one of her kids saying, I've been kidnapped. I need $10,000 sent to this account or else they won't see me again, or you won't see me again. We've had that about a half a dozen times here. Wow. Now, obviously she's gonna be concerned, right? Problem is her kid's never been touched, never been kidnapped, never been anything. So like to her point, they're going on social media, looking at the photos, all that type of stuff. They're able to spoof, it's called spoofing a number, where they're taking your or that person's cell phone number, and now you're getting a phone call from a number that you would recognize in a voice that mimics the other person's, your loved one's voice, saying that I've been kidnapped. And when I was on, it started off to be a pretty big thing, right, a kidnapping. Turns out that her daughter was actually at the movie theater in Rockland, had no idea any of this was going on. But she was probably an hour away for delivering $50,000 to these people. And it's hard to track that because we're like a spoof number, and we get them at the police department all the time, where somebody will call, make a phony phone call, and if you guys don't know, your numbers pop up on our computers, right? Especially like 911 calls. And so that number comes up, we go to call that number back or try to track that number, and you can't do it. Or at least we can't. I'm sure there's some way you can do it, but we can't do it. So, like she was saying is, when in doubt, make a phone call. Hey, are you guys okay? Yeah, I'm fine, type of thing. Cool, now you know something just happened. And who do you guys call? Us. so we can start looking into it. I'll try to get Detective Dexter. He is our computer guru, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. He's very well versed in, and mind you, they're coming up with different scams on the daily. So he's pretty up to date on all these different scams that are out and about right now. And he would probably be the best person to talk to you guys about this. I know kind of the Reader's Digest version of it, and he's more of the Webster's Dictionary.
So Dexter used to be our pop officer years back, and I thought he was working or contracted out to the county.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Still ours.
So he's still available.
Yep.
And wasn't he also dealing with child trafficking?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's the guy that gets into computers that nobody wants to get into, and he's very, very good at doing it. Whether it be cell phones, computer, I mean anything kind of electronic, he's the guy we go to, and he would have zero problem coming. Yes, ma'am.
I would suggest that people want to pay attention to their mail as well, because I got a letter, it's been a couple of years now, I got a letter from Social Security confirming my change in bank. I did not change banks. So I went to Social Security and said, what is this? And somebody had used an old address that I really used to live at, and a bank that I really used to live, and changed with Social Security. Wow. I don't know how they did it, but I stopped it before it went through. I mean, obviously, I get Social Security checks, right? Deposited to my bank account, it was going to be deposited to their bank account.
Yeah. Who uses checks here? Writes checks and sends them in the mail. Be very, very cautious on doing that.
Thank you.
Be very, very cautious on doing it. I stopped doing it. Just because of what I've seen, what they're doing. Not everybody does this, so however, what we're seeing is people go through mailboxes or those big receptacles where everybody's mail's in it, right? Yeah. And they'll crack the back, steal all the mail, but what they're looking for is the easy stuff, checks. Checks are real easy to alter, change names on them, wash them out, add a different, whatever they want to do with it, so if you're sending out checks, be cautious about it. Yeah, I stopped doing it just for that reason. So check your mail. If somebody's sitting there saying your bank account's been changed, don't bite on it. Call your bank, make sure that your bank account's still good. Any other questions on that? Heck yeah. Go first.
What I've been getting recently isn't on the computer. It's a text message on my phone.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if this is something new. In fact, earlier today, one advertising Bitcoin. And I'm thinking, where in the world are, they're just sending these out, expecting people to reply to them? Or?
Well, you gotta understand that your information gets sold.
Yes.
All your information gets sold. If you've applied for a loan, whether it be a house loan, car loan, medical insurance, all that type of stuff, people buy your, some of it is legit, some of it is not legit. And anybody hear of the black web? Okay, it is a thing, and they buy and sell and do a whole bunch of other stuff with people's personal information. Depending on how good your information is, depending on the price that they're paying for that information. That information could have everything about you. Everything. So it's always kind of good to go and check your stuff. Check your credit score. You know, how's it still looking? Or is it, you know, it's taken a 100-point hit. Why did it take that hit? Need to start asking questions then. To the gentleman's point, there's different programs you can actually buy, and it can, I won't say it erases you from the internet, but it protects certain information on the internet. Some of it's expensive, you know, depending on how elaborate you wanna get, you can get basic where, like I could put up my name on a Google search. Or if you guys wanna try it, go home, get on your computer, put your name in and city, and see what comes up about you. Generally speaking, it'll have your last residence that's on there, maybe a possible phone number, and that's all you really need to get started. But you can get different protection where it'll scrub you from that. It scrubs you from the internet, if that makes sense. But yeah, the cell phone one, that's kind of a common one. I get them all the time. I get one from Dick's Sporting Goods. I get that on the daily. I've got it for Bitcoin. I've got it for just a whole bunch of stuff.
It just seems to be increased here recently, in the last couple of weeks,
Yeah,
so, at least for me.
Yeah, there will be surges. It seems like it comes and goes in like month to month. All of a sudden you get a ton of calls and a ton of texts, and all of a sudden it'll die.
Yep.
Pick back up. And
Yes, ma'am.
What I have advised my mom, is don't click on anything you weren't expecting to get, whether it's text message or email. Open your mail every day, because like your situation, the official organization will send you information that something's changed. And they're as alarmed as you are, that's why you got a letter. So, you know, open your mail every day and don't click on it.
Yep. Being as precautious as you can is a good thing on this. Just for the mere fact, it's hard to investigate. And I'll tell you what, I've had mine stolen twice now, my identity. It's a pain in the you-know-what to get the right paperwork to where it needs to be gotten to, and then just trying to rectify everything that was, like, I found out that I had cable in Ohio, a car loan in Cincinnati. Never been to the East Coast. I don't know, Cincinnati considered East Coast?
Midwest.
Okay, we'll go Midwest. Okay, this is East Coast, okay? All right, New England. Had a rental there apparently, so it now it's just a really, all that time that you have to spend writing letters, filling out forms, letting your bank know, all that type of stuff. So then it becomes just, you know, your time, and it's just nonstop. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say also, I don't know about what bank you are with, but two of the banks that we're with, I have it set up so that it notifies me when I get a charge that's over X amount of dollars, which just last week, our card apparently was stolen because I was getting notices of like Foot Locker for $300. I'm asking my husband, did you buy shoes at Foot Locker for $300? He's like, what? You know, so that alerted me before it was still pending. It hadn't even gone through, so I was able to notify the bank and cancel the card.
And then there's all other things that go along with scams. I mean, there's just I'm not trying to minimize this, so please don't take it that. You have your basic thefts, right? Okay, I left my wallet in the cart at the store. You go back, it's not 2 minutes later, your wallet's gone and it's been used at 15 different places. So that is type of stuff that, yes, we can investigate on. It does take a little bit of time though. It's, as fast as it took to steal, it's gonna take a little bit more time to investigate that and then hold those responsible. Yes, sir.
Have you had any problems within the city with card readers at the gas stations?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Be cautious when you're using those. I'm going off my own experiences, okay? You need to be cautious. I was going up to one, I was actually gonna fill up a city vehicle. And something just didn't look right on the little scanner thing. I was just like, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I just started playing with it, and guess what? It's not real. And what we've been seeing is what they'll do is, if they spent this much time getting just a regular job and being, you know, true members of society, it'd be awesome. I mean, the amount of work that went into this. So up above, so you're looking at a gas pump. You generally have your reader right here, right? You put your card in, you put the pin, all that kind of stuff. Well, what they do is they put in a little mechanism just on the inside and then on the top. So, because if they put something down below, they're not going to get your pin number. But what they do is they put it up top, and that's videoing your number that you're putting in, the whole card number, and then your pin number as you're doing something with it. We've seen where they replace the whole mechanism themselves. So now when I go up to, whether it be my own personal car or city patrol cars, I'll take a quick glance. I'll move it around, see if this looks pretty secure. It's generally pretty secure, but what I've also started doing is going inside and paying. It takes a little bit longer, but I know it's not being scammed in there. Somebody else has?
Yeah, is that a camera button?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about that. I always went, well, to block it like this so no one can, but I never, they use a camera button,
Yep.
so sometimes, wow, okay.
I mean, pretty elaborate stuff. I mean, I looked at it and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but this is obviously not supposed to be here. So, yes ma'am.
What do you think of the new cards that they now issue, that you don't have to put your PIN in? I think it's ridiculous because it's not, if I drop my card, they can go use it before I even realize it.
Yeah, like the Apple Pay and stuff like that, where you just,
No, it's-
the chip that's on top, you just tap it.
It's
Yeah, I don't know.
supposed to be.
Some of it's convenience for you, but no, you're absolutely right. But on the other side of that, sometimes, I mean, like with, like my debit card is a Visa card too, right? So I don't need a PIN number if I'm just gonna go charge something. So like most people here, I would imagine your guys' ATM card is similar to that. If I'm just gonna charge something, I don't need a PIN number. And that's what they're doing. They're just,
There was a news story, about using your bank ATM card, where people were coming right behind somebody, and there is a window of time, if you don't hit no more transactions and pull out your card, if you just pull out your card and you don't end that transaction, it's still open to your account. And the person who comes right behind you uses that window of time to say, yes, I have more transactions, and pull out money.
yeah, that's sort of that personal security type of piece that we're talking about. Just like checking your mail, right? Making sure that you checked it. But if you're sending a check through the mail, or all that type of stuff, this is no different. I mean, when you guys are out and about and you guys are in public and you guys are paying stuff or at the grocery store, wherever it may be, give it a couple of seconds before you just walk out. I am horrible at that. You know, I'll generally get up there, pay what I need to pay, and I'm out. Now, luckily, it hasn't hit me. But with that being said, I mean, if I'm in a grocery store, something like that, I feel kind of safe in there. But again, this is all about protecting ourselves. So given that second, standing a different way, which is going to make it a little bit more tougher for somebody to be right behind you. You know, take a look around you when you guys are out there and you guys are roaming around. Take a look at who's around you. That's a big deal. But yes, I have heard that. We haven't had that here that I know of, but yes, I have heard that. Anything else on scamming? I know this was real fast. But I wanted to answer any other questions that you guys might have on any other topic. Going once.
I was gonna say something I am starting to notice. I'm getting a lot. I don't know who the person is, but I've blocked this person multiple times on texting. That whoever the person is saying hi so and so, or saying a name and they sort of like they're having a conversation. And if it's not, and if you respond back to them, they have all your information from your phone. So,
Yeah.
So don't. So there's things oh, hi, so-and-so, and it's, but you know, they're like, that's not me.
No, I've had those too.
Don't respond to that and say, you're calling the wrong person because
I just
they
delete
get
it.
through, they get through and they scare you and they have all your information just because you responded back and said, you're calling the wrong person, you're texting the wrong person.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't answer them. I delete it and then block it,
I
but.
tried to block them and they're still going through.
But what I will tell you is there are some again, I said this earlier, if the majority of these people actually put their minds to like doing really, really good, I mean, because these people we're talking about are extremely intelligent. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to do it. They know how to get around the system. They know how to beat whatever, I don't know what they would use to block it. I don't know what that's called, but if you're gonna block it, they would know how to get around it.
Yeah, that's
So,
why I'm still getting, hi, you're so-and-so, and sorry it's the same name, that they're, I don't know how to get rid of it, but they're doing it.
yeah, I mean, I do know what you're talking about because we have seen it. The bad thing, well, the good thing is you can just delete it, right?
I usually do, but
But now it becomes a little bit of a pain at times. Blocking it, like you were just talking about. Sometimes calling your carrier and asking them what you could do about this, that could help as well.
okay, thank you.
You mentioned Dick's Sporting Goods.
Mhm.
You'll see them appear on Facebook, but it's not Dick's Sporting Goods. They'll change just maybe something on the logo, some little thing. So like you said earlier, and another one I saw, they were selling all these electric bikes and so forth. And the prices were just incredible. Check out, the scams are there. I just punched in the logo and they said that's not Dick's Sporting Goods. No wonder the prices are half the price. Or the one on the bikes, I pulled that up, it was some company out of China. They said 25% of the people actually getting product, but you're paying, so it's just do your research.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Some of it's that buyer beware type mentality. I saw some hands for Facebook. Anybody use Facebook Marketplace? Yeah, you gotta be cautious when you're using Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, I'd say the majority of the time you're dealing with good people trying to sell whatever they're trying to sell. But I'm here to tell you that's not always the case. So be cautious. If you do plan on, if you're gonna do a meet, hey, we're gonna meet up to sell something, cool. You guys all know of a certain location you guys can go to that's gonna be videotaped, which is the police department, right in the front lobby, or the front lot. Now, if they don't wanna show up to the police department at the front lot, ask yourself this next question. Do I want to do business with these people? Because we have had where people have been ripped off and that type of thing. So be cautious on that type of thing. When you're looking at different ads like he was saying, take another look. Is this a legit thing? Facebook Marketplace, is this a legit thing? Again, if it's too good to be true, generally it is. If you see a $5,000 set of golf clubs that are being sold for $25, I guess you could be looking at both ways. What a deal, or who did these just get stolen from? And you don't want to be the next victim. Anybody else on scams, or does anybody else have any other questions about anything else? Come on. Bill said I was gonna get zinged, so.
I actually have a general question. Do we have a resource for seniors, that we've gathered, something that is a resource guide for senior safety or
In
child
general?
safety?
So in general, yes. So we did make a pamphlet a while back, I think. I think it's at the police department. I'll have to do a little bit of digging. I'm pretty sure it's there, and it was all about, it was some scamming issues and just like home protection and self-protection, that type of thing. So, yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll definitely, I'll get back to you on that one as well. Yes, ma'am.
There is an old RV parked in the Food Max parking lot that's been there almost 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And now there's another truck. They look really trashy, but they're parked next to them. And the last time I was there, they were just all sitting out in lawn chairs,
Yep.
conversing. Who do we call about them like camping out in?
It's a heck of a question.
I've seen them too.
So, it's a very simple question to answer, a little bit more difficult to deal with. So the answer is us. Call us, okay? We will go out there, see what we can do. Our goal is, okay, let's get your compliance, you can't be doing this, and either move on to better, brighter pastures. If they don't, and if they don't, well, then we need to hold them, accountable for whatever's going on. Now, the issue that comes into play is private property. So, there's a lot we can do, but then there's certain things we just,
It's not public property.
well, we try to give very strong suggestions when we're dealing with chronic offenders, if you will. So we start looking at other things. Is the vehicle expired? If you guys didn't know, your vehicle, if it's expired over 6 months, it can be towed from private property or public property. Okay? Now, nobody here's vehicles over 6 months, right? And if it is, we can talk outside when we're done. So we start looking at those types of avenues.
Okay.
The worst thing that happens is we can't move them, but what we get out of that is we get to figure out who is there, why they're there, are they on probation, are they on parole, do they have warrants? Are they doing other bad things there that we can now take enforcement action, even though it's on private property, now we can start taking enforcement action. So the best thing to do is to call us, let us come out there, and then we can start going through our little, I don't say checklist, but, okay, let's do some investigating here. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'll come tomorrow. Thank
Food
you.
Max, you said? I'll have somebody look at it tonight, okay?
They're parked from, about 2 rows from Planet Fitness.
So they're in the front.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's an old RV. The truck's not much better with its parked next to it.
I'll have some people look at it tonight,
Thank you.
okay?
Yeah, because they've been there 2 weeks. That's a long time to be parked in.
I think they've been there longer than that.
Don't disagree. Believe it or not, we all have hearts. Some people are down on their lucks, and we understand that, but there's still that component that, there is that accountability piece.
But you guys did great last time, because the ones before them that were camping there were selling drugs and stealing from the stores, and you guys got them out of there, so thank you for that.
We have the guys doing extra patrols, Food Max, basically that whole area. So, and when in doubt, give us a call,
Okay,
okay? Don't hesitate to call, I can't say that enough.
thank you.
Absolutely. No,
We're good?
no other questions?
I think so.
All right,
They may want to approach you afterwards one-on-one.
absolutely, I'll be right back here. So, for the next meeting, July, I'm gonna see if I can't get Detective Dexter here for you.
Well, we already have a speaker,
Oh, who is it?
Diane Merrick, Sherry.
Sherry Merrick.
Merrick.
All right, so here's what I'll do. I'll
But we need one for September.
have, September, it's so far away. Let me see what I can do, Bill.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, because we're not gonna have a meeting in August, so it'd be September.
Okay.
And you're invited to National Night Out.
Oh, I will be there. I was with,
Yeah, we're
we were car partners.
national.
It was hot.
Hey, we have the coolest place because we got all the trees.
That is true, yes. Yes, ma'am.
I have one more thing that, I've been told. I used to always answer my phone with my name. And, the other thing is somebody, oh, is that you, Kathy? You say yes. Two things, they've got my name and they got a yes. So they have a yes, and then I've committed myself to something. So I no longer answer my phone with my name. And, when somebody asks you, they say something really simple like, can you hear me? Yes. Okay, that's it. You said yes, you have committed yourself to something they are going to do for you.
Yeah, simple hello is good. I don't want everybody to be, like panic stricken or anything like that, but what I would ask is just be a little bit, take a look around you, read a little harder, and just, make sure we're taking care of ourselves.